Smoke filled my lungs as I pressed my body against the back of the closet. Through the crack in the wooden door, I watched flames dance up the walls of Carmen's diner. Orange light painted everything in horror. The heat pressed against my skin like a warning. They found me again. I clutched my burner phone so tight my knuckles went white. Downstairs, heavy boots walked through broken glass. Men shouted in Russian, words I knew too well, words that haunted my dreams for 3 years. "She's here somewhere. The boss wants her alive." My heart pounded so loud I was sure they could hear it. Sweat dripped down my face. The smoke grew thicker. I had maybe 5 minutes before this building became my grave. But let me tell you how I ended up hiding in a burning diner in Montana. Let me tell you about the night my old life ended and this nightmare began. 3 years ago, I was Natasha Rivera, a normal girl with a normal job. Well, almost normal. I restored old paintings for rich people. I fixed the cracks, cleaned the dirt, brought dead art back to life. I was good at it, really good. That's how I met Dmitry Volkov. His people contacted me about a private collection. They offered more money than I made in 2 years. All I had to do was live in his mansion for 6 months and restore his paintings. Simple work, easy money. I should have asked more questions. The mansion was beautiful in a cold way. White marble floors, crystal lights hanging from tall ceilings, guards at every door. I told myself rich people needed protection. I told myself it was normal. Dmitry was polite at first. He watched me work sometimes, standing in the doorway of my studio. He asked about my techniques, my training, my life. His eyes were gray like winter storms. When he looked at me, I felt like a painting he wanted to own. "You have steady hands," he said once. "Most people shake around me." I didn't understand what he meant, not then. For 5 months, I worked on his collection, masterpieces worth millions. Some I recognized from news reports, stolen art from museums across Europe. But I kept my mouth shut. I needed the money. I told myself it wasn't my business. Then came the night that changed everything. I was looking for a bathroom on the 3rd floor. A door stood open that was usually locked. Curiosity killed the cat, my mother always said. She was right. The room behind that door held filing cabinets and photographs pinned to walls. At first, I didn't understand what I was seeing. Shipping routes, dates, pictures of young girls with numbers written below their faces. Not art, people. My stomach turned to ice. Dmitry Volkov didn't just steal paintings, he stole people. I grabbed my phone and took pictures. My hands were shaking now. I had to tell someone. I had to get out. "Beautiful, isn't it?" His voice came from behind me. I spun around. Dmitry stood in the doorway, his gray eyes fixed on me. He didn't look angry, he looked amused. That scared me more than rage ever could. "I can explain," I whispered. "No need." He stepped closer. "I've been waiting to see how long your curiosity would take. Most people last 2 months. You lasted 5. Impressive." "I won't tell anyone, please. I'll just leave and forget everything." He laughed softly. It was not a kind sound. "Leave, Natasha. You know my secrets now. People who know my secrets don't leave. They disappear." Tears burned my eyes. "Please." Dmitry reached out and touched my cheek. His fingers were cold. "But you're different. You don't beg like others. You stood in my house for 5 months and never trembled. Do you know how rare that is? How valuable?" He leaned close. His breath touched my ear. "You can run, Natasha. I enjoy the chase." That night I ran. Father Benedict was waiting in a car 2 miles from the mansion, an old priest with kind eyes and a network of safe houses across America. He helped people disappear, people like me. "Drive," I said, climbing into his car. He drove. For 3 years I ran. New towns, new names, new lives that lasted a few months before the black cars appeared again, before the whispers started, before I had to pack a single bag and vanish into the night. Now here I was in Montana, hiding in a burning closet. The smoke was too thick now. I couldn't wait any longer. I kicked open the closet door and ran toward the window. Glass shattered as I threw a chair through it.
Cold night air hit my face. Below me, a dumpster sat in the alley. I jumped. My body hit garbage bags and rotten food. Pain shot through my shoulder, but I was alive. Behind me, Carmen's diner collapsed in flames. I ran into the darkness, knowing Dimitri was
The bus
closer than
dropped
ever.
me in Clearwater, Oregon, on a Tuesday morning. Rain fell soft and gray. The air smelled like pine trees and wet earth. A small town with one main street, perfect for disappearing. I was no longer Natasha Rivera. My new driver's license said Anna Mitchell. Brown hair dyed black, glasses I didn't need, a different walk, a different smile. My fifth identity in 3 years. Father Benedict taught me well. Never use your real name, never talk about your past, never stay longer than 4 months. Always have 2 ways out of every building. Always have a bag packed by the door. The library needed a part-time worker. The woman who interviewed me was named Mrs. Patterson. She was 60 years old with silver hair and warm eyes. She reminded me of my grandmother, who died when I was 12. "You have experience with books?" she asked. "Yes, ma'am. I worked in a bookstore back east." A lie, but lies kept me alive now. She hired me on the spot, said I had an honest face. The guilt of that sat heavy in my chest. I rented a small room above the town bakery. The owners were a married couple named George and Betty. They made fresh bread every morning at 4. The smell woke me up each day. For a moment, just a moment, I could pretend I was normal. My room was tiny, 1 window facing the street, 1 window facing the back alley, 2 exits, just like Father Benedict taught me. I kept my bag under the bed, cash, clothes, fake documents, a knife, everything I needed to run in under 2 minutes. The first week passed slowly. I shelved books, I smiled at customers, I ate dinner alone in my room. At night, I watched the street below for black cars. No black cars came. Maybe this time would be different. Maybe Dimitri had finally given up. But I knew better. Men like him never gave up. In the second week, I noticed small things. A car parked too long outside the bakery. Blue, not black, but the windows were tinted. I couldn't see inside. It sat there for 3 hours, then drove away. The next day, a stranger came into the library, a woman in her 40s with short blonde hair. She browsed the shelves for 20 minutes, never picked up a book. When she left, she looked right at me. My blood went cold. I called Father Benedict that night from a payphone outside town. "They raided 2 of my safe houses," he said. His voice was tired, scared. "Good people are hurt." Because of me? Because of him. Dimitri isn't just looking for you anymore. He's destroying everything that helps people hide. Churches, shelters, networks I spent 30 years building. Tears filled my eyes. "Father, I'm so sorry." "This isn't your fault, child. You witnessed evil. You ran from evil. That takes courage. But you need to be careful. He's getting desperate. Desperate men do terrible things." I hung up and walked back into town. The rain had stopped. Stars filled the sky above me, beautiful and cold like Dimitri's eyes. The next morning, I met a man at the gas station. He was fixing his truck in the parking lot. Tall, friendly, with grease on his hands and an easy smile. "Engine trouble?" I asked. "Nothing I can't handle." He wiped his hands on a rag. "You're new in town. I'm Pete. I run the mechanic shop on Miller Road." "Anna," I said. "I work at the library." "Nice to meet you, Anna. If your car ever needs work, come see me. I give good prices." He seemed kind, normal. For a second, I imagined having coffee with him, talking about normal things, weather and movies and weekend plans. Then I remembered who I was, what I was running from. "Thanks," I said. "I'll remember that." I walked away before he could say more. That night, I came home late from the library. I climbed the stairs to my room. The door was locked, just how I left it. Nothing seemed wrong. But when I opened the door, my heart stopped. On my pillow sat a single black rose. Fresh, beautiful, deadly. Dimitri's calling card. He was here, in this town, in my room. He touched my pillow. He breathed my air. He wanted me to know that locks meant nothing, distance meant nothing, running meant nothing. I grabbed my bag from under the bed. My hands shook so bad I could barely zip it closed. The black rose stared at me from the pillow. Somewhere out there, Dimitri was watching, waiting, enjoying the fear in my eyes. I ran down the stairs and into the cold night air. The chase was starting again.
Dmitri Volkov stood at his office window. The city stretched below him like a kingdom, towers of glass and steel, millions of people living their small lives, all of them afraid of something, most of them afraid of him. But his mind was elsewhere. On his desk sat a photograph, a woman with brown eyes and steady hands, Natasha Rivera, the one who ran. 3 years, 47 towns, 12 countries searched, millions of dollars spent. His men thought he was crazy. They whispered behind his back. The great Dmitri Volkov brought low by a girl who restored paintings. Let them whisper. The door opened. His brother Yuri walked in, younger by 5 years, softer around the edges. He never had the stomach for their father's business. "Brother, we need to talk." Dmitri didn't turn from the window. "Then talk." "This obsession with the girl, it's hurting us. The Chicago operation lost $3 million last month. Our people in Miami are asking questions. You're distracted." "I'm focused." "On what? A woman who saw some photographs?" Yuri stepped closer. "She's nobody. Just kill her and be done with it. Or better yet, forget her. We have bigger problems." Now Dmitri turned. His gray eyes were cold like frozen lakes. "You don't understand." "Then explain it to me." Dmitri picked up the photograph. He traced her face with his finger. "Do you know what people do when they meet me? They bow, they shake, they say yes to everything. Their fear is so strong I can smell it. For 20 years, everyone has been afraid of me." He set the photo down. "Except her. She stood in my house for 5 months and never trembled. She looked at my paintings like they mattered more than my power. When she discovered my secrets, she didn't beg, she didn't cry, she just looked at me with those brown eyes and asked to leave." Yuri shook his head. "So you admire her courage, fine, but this hunt is destroying everything Father built." "Father is dead. This empire is mine, and I decide what matters." The door opened again. Alexei walked in, tall, scarred, dangerous. His nickname was the Wolf for good reason. "We found her," Alexei said. "Pacific Northwest, small town in Oregon." Something flickered in Dimitri's eyes. Not joy, something darker. "Prepare my jet." Yuri grabbed his arm. "Brother, please, this madness has to stop." Dmitri pulled free. He straightened his jacket and walked toward the door. "Alexei, bring extra men, and bring gasoline." "Gasoline? Why?" Dmitri paused at the door. A small smile crossed his face. "I'm tired of chasing ghosts. From now on, we burn every place she hides, every church, every safe house, every person who helps her. We burn the world until she has nowhere left to run." He walked out. Yuri stood alone in the empty office.
I stopped
His
sleeping.
brother was truly
Every
lost
shadow
now.
was a threat. Every stranger was an enemy. I moved from town to town like a ghost, never staying more than a few days. But Dmitri was always one step behind. From a hilltop in Idaho, I watched a motel burn, the same motel where I slept 2 nights before. Fire trucks screamed down the highway. Smoke painted the sky black. 14 people lost their homes that night. Because of me. In Wyoming, the news was worse. Father Benedict's church was destroyed, windows smashed, pews broken, holy statues thrown into the street. They found Father Benedict in the basement, beaten and barely breathing. He spent 3 weeks in the hospital. Because of me. I called him from a gas station payphone. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. "Father, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault." His voice was weak but gentle. "Child, this is not your burden. Evil men do evil things. You didn't choose this." "But people are getting hurt. Innocent people." "Then we pray for them, and we keep fighting." I hung up and cried in my car for an hour. That night I made a decision, a stupid decision, a desperate decision. I called Dmitri. The phone rang twice before he answered. His voice was calm, like we were old friends. "Natasha, I wondered when you would call. Stop hurting people, please. I'll come back. I'll do whatever you want. Just stop." Silence, then a soft laugh. "You think this is punishment? No, Natasha. This is construction. I'm building a new world, a world where nothing exists between us. No safe houses, no helpful priests, no kind strangers. Soon I will be all you have left." My blood turned to ice. "You're insane." "Perhaps, but I'm also patient. Run as far as you want. Hide as long as you can. In the end, you will come home to me." He hung up. I drove through the night. No destination, just movement, just escape. 3 days later, I found myself in a small Montana town, population 800, one grocery store, one church, one diner called Carmen's Place. I told myself I wouldn't make friends. I told myself I would stay invisible. But Carmen Lopez broke through my walls. She was 45, with laugh lines around her eyes, a single mother with a teenage son. She gave me a job washing dishes. She didn't ask questions about my past. "Everyone's running from something," she said. "What matters is who you become when you stop." For 2 weeks, I almost felt human. I ate dinner with Carmen and her son. I helped close the diner at night. I laughed at stupid jokes. Then I saw the smoke. Black clouds rising from downtown, screams filling the air, fire trucks racing past. Carmen's diner was burning. I ran toward the flames, knowing Dmitri had found me again. The diner was nothing but ash and broken glass. Smoke still rose from the ruins. Fire trucks sprayed water on the dying flames. Carmen stood across the street, crying into her son's shoulder. At least they were alive. I should have run. That's what the smart Natasha would do. Pack my bag and disappear into the night. Find another town, another name, another life. But I was tired of running. 3 years of fear, 3 years of looking over my shoulder, 3 years of watching innocent people suffer because of me. No more. I walked into the ruins of Carmen's diner. Ash crunched under my boots. The air was thick with smoke and memories. 2 weeks of almost happiness, burned to nothing. He was waiting for me. Dmitri stood in the middle of the destruction. His expensive suit was perfect, not a speck of ash on his shoulders. His gray eyes found mine, and something flickered there. Satisfaction. Hunger. "You came to me," he said. "Finally. I came to end this." He smiled, that same cold smile from 3 years ago. "End this, Natasha? This will never end, not until you understand where you belong." I looked around at the burned walls, the melted furniture. Carmen's dream turned to ashes. "Why? Why destroy everything? These people did nothing to you." "They helped you hide. That's enough. Two of his men stood near the back door. Alexei watched from the shadows. I was surrounded. Dmitri stepped closer. I own this town now. The bank, the mayor, the police. I can make this place disappear from every map. Or I can rebuild it. Better than before. New jobs, new homes, a future. He paused. All you have to do is come home with me. Home? Your mansion is a prison. Every home is a prison if you look at it wrong. We stood face to face now, close enough to touch. I could smell his cologne, the same scent from 3 years ago. Why me? I asked. You could have anyone. Beautiful women throw themselves at you. Why chase someone who hates you? His eyes changed. Something real flickered beneath the ice. Because you're the only one who chose yourself over me. Everyone else kneels, everyone else begs, but you looked at my power and decided it meant nothing. You saw the monster and ran anyway. He reached out and touched my cheek. You're real, Natasha. In a world of pretenders, you're real. I understood then. This wasn't love, this was possession. He wanted to own the one thing he couldn't buy. I'll never stop fighting you. I know. That's why I want you. He dropped his hand. You have 48 hours. Then I stop being patient. He walked past me into the night. His men followed. I stood alone in the ashes.
Yuri looked
Then a voice
nothing
came
like
from
his
the
brother.
shadows.
Softer
I
eyes,
can help you.
kinder
Yuri
mouth,
stepped into
but
the
the
light.
same dangerous blood ran through his veins. Why would you help me? I asked. Because my brother is sick. This obsession is destroying everything. Our empire, our family, him. Yuri stepped closer. I loved who he was before you. I hate who he's become. So this is about saving him, not me. Does it matter? We both want the same thing. You want freedom, I want my brother back. Help me and we both win. I didn't trust him. How could I? But I was out of options. What's your plan? Yuri explained everything. He had contacts in South America, people who could give me real documents, a real identity, not another fake name that expired in 4 months. True freedom in a place Dmitri would never search. But there was a catch. We have to fake your death, Yuri said, convincingly. My brother needs to believe you're gone forever. Only then will he let go. And if he discovers the truth, then we both die. We worked through the night. Yuri had everything planned. A car accident on a mountain road, a cliff overlooking a deep river, my belongings scattered in the wreckage, blood evidence collected from me beforehand. The next evening, we staged the scene. Yuri drove my car to the cliff's edge. I watched from the trees as he sent it flying into the darkness below. Metal screamed against rock. The car exploded into flames before hitting the water. Beautiful and terrible. Alexei arrived within the hour. He examined the wreckage with cold, professional eyes. The blood, the burned belongings, my jacket floating in the river downstream. She's dead, he reported into his phone. No body yet. The river is too deep. I held my breath in the shadows. Then Dmitri came. His helicopter landed in a nearby field. He walked to the cliff's edge and stared at the burning wreckage below. I expected satisfaction, maybe relief. Instead, I saw rage, and something that looked almost like grief. Find the body, he ordered. Drag the entire river if you have to. For 3 days, his men searched. I hid in a basement 20 miles away, watching news reports on a tiny television. Dmitri's businesses were burning across the country. Not attacks from enemies. He was destroying his own empire in blind fury. The man was unraveling. Yuri finally returned with my new passport, but his face was bruised. His arm hung at a wrong angle. Alexei suspected me, he said. He asked questions with his fists. But you didn't tell him? I'm still here, aren't I? He handed me the passport. A new name, a new future, a flight leaving in 6 hours. Then the door exploded inward.
Dmitri stood in the doorway. His suit was wrinkled, his eyes were wild. Behind him, Alexei held a gun. "Did you really think," whispered Dmitri, "that
Dmitri
my own
stepped
brother
into the
could
basement.
deceive me?"
His shoes clicked against the concrete floor. Behind him, Alexei kept his gun trained on Yuri. "Brother," Yuri said, "listen to me." "Quiet." Dmitri's voice was ice. "You betrayed your own blood. For her." He pulled a gun from his jacket. His hand was steady. His eyes never left my face. 3 years, he said. 3 years I searched for you. I burned cities. I destroyed networks. I spent millions. And my own brother was hiding you. "She deserves freedom," Yuri said. "Can't you see what you've become? Father would be ashamed." Something flickered in Dmitri's eyes. Pain, maybe, or rage. It was hard to tell. "Father taught me to never let go, to never show weakness. Natasha is my unfinished chapter, my one failure." He raised the gun toward me. "Tonight, I finish the story." I should have been afraid. 3 years ago, I would have begged. I would have cried. I would have promised anything to survive. But I was different now. "Go ahead," I said. "Pull the trigger." Dmitri tilted his head. Curious. "You want to die?" "No, but I'm done being afraid of you." I stepped closer to the gun. "You know what I realized? You'll never be happy. Even if you cage me, even if you chain me to your mansion forever. Because what you want isn't me." "Then what do I want?" "The chase, the hunt, the girl who defied you." I looked straight into his gray eyes. "The moment I stop fighting, I become boring. Your obsession needs my resistance. Without it, I'm just another scared woman saying yes to everything." The gun wavered slightly. "You're wrong." "Am I? Look at yourself, Dmitri. Your empire is crumbling. Your men are questioning you. You burned your own businesses in rage over a woman you never even touched." I shook my head. "This was never about love. It was about control. And the thing you want to control is the one thing that refuses to bend." Silence filled the basement. Yuri spoke quietly. "She's right, brother. Look at what you've become. A ghost chasing shadows. This isn't strength. This is madness." Dmitri's jaw tightened. His finger rested on the trigger. Then Alexei's phone buzzed. "Boss, we have a problem. FBI is surrounding the building. Dozens of cars. They know we're here." Yuri smiled weakly. "My failsafe. If anything happened to me, my contacts had instructions. Evidence owes straight to the authorities." Dmitri's eyes went wide. "You would destroy our family?" "I'm trying to save you. Save you." Yuri coughed. Blood dripped from his mouth. "Please, brother, end this madness. Walk away." Outside, sirens screamed closer. Red and blue lights flashed through the tiny basement windows. Voices shouted commands through megaphones. Dmitri stood frozen. For the first time, I saw him as he truly was. Not a monster, not a king. Just a broken man chasing something he could never catch. Slowly, he lowered the gun. "I'm letting you go," he said quietly. "Not because I'm good. Not because you deserve it." He met my eyes one final time. "Because you're right. I want the chase more than the prize, and that's no way to live." He turned and walked toward the back exit. Alexei followed. "Brother," Yuri called out, "will I see you again?" Dmitri paused at the door. "Perhaps, when I figure out who I am without her ghost haunting me." Then he disappeared into the night. The FBI found us minutes later. Yuri was rushed to a hospital. I spent weeks answering questions, giving testimony, providing evidence. Dmitri's empire fell apart within months. 3 months later, I stood on a beach in a small coastal town. My new name was Sarah Collins. A real identity this time, real documents, a real future. I worked at a small art gallery. Quiet work, honest work. No shadows, no black cars. One afternoon, a blue car drove slowly past the gallery. My heart stopped. Old habits screamed at me to run. But the car kept driving. Just a stranger passing through. I breathed deeply.
Salt air filled my lungs. For the first time in years, I was truly free. Somewhere far away, in a cold house in Russia, Dmitry Volkov burned the last painting I ever restored, finally letting go.